What's up, y'all? It's Chris here to break down the big fight, Floyd Mayweather against Juan Manuel Marquez. I know the video, it's not really late, but I wanted to watch. I usually do my prediction videos the week of the fight because I like to see how training's going and whatnot. You never know if an injury is going to occur. Plus, in this case, I wanted to watch the 24/7 episodes. Granted, there's one left on Friday, but obviously I'm not going to wait till then to do the prediction. That's usually just the weigh-in vid anyway. The thing is, though, I've said this in the past, I believe, either on a video or to someone, the 24/7 curse. It seems like all the fights that have had 24/7 episodes, they build up the fight great, makes you look forward to the fight, but they end up being one-sided fights, whether it's a Mayweather De La Hoya, although that wasn't one-sided, but I think it was pretty clear-cut who won the fight. Mayweather Hatton, Pacquiao Hatton, Jones Calzaghe, all those fights, they're good sells 24/7, but I don't know. It's like the John Madden football cover. It's not really a curse, but it just seems to turn out that way. Hopefully that's not the case here, but if it is, I won't be surprised. Anyways, so Floyd Mayweather, record 39 wins, 0 losses, stands in at 5'8", 72-inch reach. He's 32 years old. Against Juan Manuel Marquez, whose record is 50 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, standing in at 5'7" with a 67-inch reach. He's 36 years old. Floyd's coming off the TKO win over Ricky Hatton. That was almost 3 years ago, though, man. That was almost, it was over 2.5 years ago. Before that, he had the split decision win over Oscar De La Hoya, which I think most would agree, except for maybe a judge, obviously, that Floyd won that fight decisively. She probably should have been a unanimous decision. I know he's had the layoff, but Floyd's looked good so far on 24/7. Granted, we haven't seen any of his sparring, but obviously he's in great shape. Floyd's not the type of fighter that ever gets out of shape in between fights. He's a bit of a gym rat, so to speak. In between fights, he'd always stay in shape, and even though he may not have been training all this time or in the gym as often during his layoff, the guy still probably stayed in top shape. Maybe not fighting shape, but top shape nonetheless. What we have seen on 24/7, the jump rope in, the hitting the speed bag, hitting the heavy bag, hitting the mitts. The guy looks to be in phenomenal shape as always. Not really a surprise, The guy's a gifted fighter, As for Marquez, he's coming off the 9th round TKO over Juan Diaz. Great fight, still probably one of the best fights of the year thus far. Before that, he had the 11th round TKO over Joe Casamayor. And before that, he had the split decision loss to Manny Pacquiao. Close fight. Fight a lot of people thought he won, or at least deserved a draw in. So Marquez is coming off a great victory. Only bad thing is, he did get hurt in I believe it was the first round of that fight against Juan Diaz. He did get stunned slightly, which Diaz is not a big puncher. Diaz has never been a knockout puncher. And Marquez is moving up 9 pounds for this fight, heavier than he was for that fight as far as the weigh-in, so the contracted weight. So that kind of worries me a little bit for him. How's he going to be able to handle the punches at 144 from a fighter, Mayweather, who I think has more pop in his punches than Juan Diaz, even if he's not a knockout puncher himself necessarily. Floyd, that is. Whenever I'm doing predictions or videos, I like to make a case for both fighters. Although I didn't do it in the Diaz-Malignaggi fight, but in this fight, in all honesty, I don't really see Marquez winning this fight. I don't really see any way that he can win this fight. Granted, anything can happen in a fight. A guy could get caught, get knocked out, or a guy could have an off night. But I definitely think that Floyd has all the advantage going into this fight. He's the younger man. Yeah, he's had a layoff, but I don't think it'll affect him too much. Maybe early on he'll have to shake off some rust, but I think after a round or two he should be back in form. Anyways, he's got the youth advantage, he's got the size advantage, he's got the speed advantage. They're both very intelligent fighters inside the ring. Both are really good technical fighters, very skilled. So I'd say they're on par there. It's really hard to argue who's better. I do think Floyd's a better defensive fighter than Juan Manuel Marquez is. And, like I said, I think he has all the advantages going into this fight, Also, age is an advantage. Floyd has a lot less wear and tear on his body. That layoff could have done him some good, gave his body time to rest. He said on 24/7 that, he just wanted to rest. He's been fighting for so long. His body needed a break, and he got it. Whereas Marquez has been in some tough fights, some wars his last 3 fights. So I think Floyd will probably be the fresher fighter going into the fight as well. how do I see the fight playing out? Also, Marquez looks good at the weight though on the show. Looks like he put on the weight the right way. Added a little bit of muscle. Doesn't seem to have slowed him down too much. We'll see when the fight starts. But he looks to be good at this increased weight, which is the highest of his career. As far as the fight, how do I see it going? First couple rounds, I think Marquez will come out a little more aggressive. I think Mayweather may take a round or two, like I said, to shake off the rust, kind of get his timing down and whatnot, because he hasn't been in there in a long time. But and Marquez has been more aggressive in the past couple of years than he was earlier in his career. Mayweather is not really the most aggressive fighter. He's more of a counter fighter, which Marquez is great at as well, but I think Marquez will be the aggressor here in this fight. I think Marquez, like I said, he may win the first couple of rounds, just with his output and whatnot, being more aggressive. But I think once Floyd gets his game down, much like with the De La Hoya fight and the Zab Judah fight and other fights in the past, Floyd will start to, implement what he wants to do in there, He'll start picking off Marquez's shots, start using his speed advantage, and start countering effectively. It'll be interesting to see if either of these guys go to the body, Mayweather might be smart to go to Marquez's body because it's his highest weighty spot at. He might not be able to, it might wear on him late in the fight. Marquez might be smart to go to Mayweather's body because he had that rib injury, which delayed the fight, which was originally supposed to happen in June, or July, I don't recall exactly. So it'll be interesting to see if either employ those tactics, or effectively at that. But I do think Mayweather's speed advantage, like I said, defensive advantage, is just going to be a little too much here, I think by the mid rounds, I'd say 6, 7, 8 rounds, Mayweather's going to start getting the best of the fight. Definitively, I think it's going to be pretty clear cut that he's just a step ahead and he's the better fighter. I can't really say he's the better fighter yet, but he does have the advantage. He is the faster fighter. He is the bigger fighter. He is the stronger fighter. And I think it's going to start showing by, mid rounds. I think if he starts hurting Marquez and realizes that Marquez can't really do any damage to him, he's going to start really taking over, possibly being a little more aggressive and looking for the finish. If Floyd plays it safe, it will, and it goes to a decision. I see him winning a pretty clear-cut decision, but I do think that he has the ability and the talent, no disrespect to Juan Manuel Marquez, to finish the fight late. I could see Floyd finishing the fight in the championship rounds. Whether or not he decides to go for that, we'll see. But I think it'll be a good fight. I'm looking forward to it, But I think Mayweather is smart taking this fight because Marquez is one of the top pound fighters out there right now. But Floyd's taking this on a smaller guy, a guy that doesn't really have the power to threaten him, a guy that, like I said, that he has all the advantages over. So I do think Mayweather's going to win this fight pretty clearly. Not unfortunately, but I do like Marquez. I'm not a fan per se of either of these guys. Neither of them are like my favorite fighters or anything. But Marquez just seems to be generally a good guy, a guy that's easy to get behind and root for, a very humble guy, as opposed to Floyd, who kind of can rub some people the wrong way. A lot of the fans and whatnot with his antics and the way he talks and stuff. But I just don't think Marquez is going to be able to pull this one out. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I may be back on Sunday to talk about the fight. I don't think I'm going to see it. I'm probably going to watch UFC 103 as I've talked about on a previous video. But I'm still looking forward to the fight whenever I do see it. Whether it's the next day, that night, a week later on HBO. I'll probably still come back, give my afterthoughts after, and let you guys know what I think. But until then, be sure and check out the website, thewillbebloodfightshow.com. I'll put the link here in the information part. And the radio show this Thursday, as always, Leave It in the Ring, or blogtalkradio.com/Leave It in the Ring. And make sure you guys call in this Thursday. I don't know who the guests are, but you guys would like to talk about this fight, give your thoughts on it and talk about it with myself, 97 Rough, Hootathon, a.k.a. David Chen, Blood, and Strike Cards and others. Call into the radio show. I'm sure we're going to be talking a lot about this fight, probably more than anything else. So be sure and check all that out, and I'll probably be back after I see this fight. But until then, y'all, I'm out.